So this is what I'm going to have my students participate in for the assignment. This is C-SPAN Student Cam 2018. It is a video competition. The students can win cash prizes. My senior students in my government class are going to be doing an activity from my class that should then lead them to be able to participate in this with a successful video. I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing in my class and show you what the assignment is here. So this is the assignment that my students are going to be participating in. I went ahead and created for them a Google slide presentation that they can follow. They've been asking for a rubric, so I broke it down in a couple different ways. I started with the C-SPAN requirements. They're going to be creating a video. The identification topic from C-SPAN is it must include one provision of the Constitution and why it's important to the student. The video length must be 5 to 7 minutes long. Again, that is a C-SPAN requirement. That is before they do credits. And they must include a supporting C-SPAN video clip. They are allowed to use 1 to 3 participants, and they must have their works cited and end credits. I will also point out that to support my students, I have already hyperlinked. This Google Drive right here is from C-SPAN. It has the rubric, and below here, hidden by my slide presentation, is the actual piece that kind of helps them get started. It offers them some support for their beginning pieces. So this is my second screen. The second requirement as part of the Google slide presentation was my requirements, and I went ahead and looked at what C-SPAN was offering from them. It wasn't very specific, and I thought it might be helpful after looking at C-SPAN's rubric if I could break that down a little bit more. So I did ask my students to include specific wording from the Constitution, either in their audio presentation or their visual or both. I showed them several different ways that they could do that, highlighting, motion, or just obviously speaking. I did ask them for some statistical data, some quotes or news articles that were supporting their viewpoint or their ideas. I did include the idea that they need to respond or rebut with varying opinions that go against that idea. Again, kind of referring to the statistical data, knowing that that should help, and gave them the ideas of including interviews or commentary or graphics. They can find those on other C-SPAN examples. I did show those to the students when I introduced the topic, and so that's the second part of my requirement. So for me, the grading is a key component, and I wanted to make sure that they understood what they were looking at. So you can see here, I gave them a specific slide listing the grading options. They can get 20 points possible for their C-SPAN requirements if they meet all of those and do a good job. They can get 20 points possible for meeting my requirements and doing a good job. And then I'm going to explain about the G+ participation. I am using Google Community for us. They're going to be posting their videos to a Google Community, and then they're going to be commenting on those, and so they're going to get 10 points for participating in that part of it. I'm also doing 10 points. I do an evaluation for all of the activities I do. They have to evaluate how well they did, how their partners did, what they liked, what they learned, and so they get 10 points for that. So this is a big ticket item for my class. Most items are only 10 points, and this one is worth 60. And then you'll notice there at the bottom, I also wanted to really engage them. I wanted them to give me their best possible item, so I am offering extra points for this one, the creativity points, the entry to C-SPAN points, which I can go back and do that by the end of the year. And then the fan favorite, I love to offer that one. If they can get other students that think that they did a good job on the presentation, I like to reward that as well. So there's the grading thing. It kind of gives them an opportunity to see how they're going to do. So the last slide on my Google slide presentation that would be sent to my students' Google Classroom is the how to submit their project. I have created a Google community that I'm going to be having them use. So I'm going to be walking them through how to get a Google account. Most of my students not only have their own account through the school district, but they also have personal accounts. I did already check. I guess I could have done that with my needs assessment as well, but I did check. And so I'm going to have them use their outside account to join the community. I've already set it up. I also gave them a link there to try to make that a little simpler. And then I'm giving them some very specific guides that will hopefully help them up, that they need to save their video into their Google Drive, that they set it up to share so we can all view it. And then there's going to be a write period for the box. And so I'm going to be walking them through that, how to do the Google community for that. That's obviously going to be something that on Google Classroom, I can make a video and add that to the presentation so that if I wasn't here or if I was doing it as an online presentation, they would have access. So this is the Google community. This is an opportunity for us to go ahead and share our information. I want to walk you through how to do that depending on what period you are in. So you'll notice once you've joined the Google community, you should have it listed here that you are part. If you haven't already done that, when I asked you to, go ahead and make sure you join the community. And then right here is the period 1 and period 3 C-SPAN student videos. So I'm going to click on period 1. You would go to what you want to share right here. Please make sure if your name up here is not the school appropriate name, that you do post here what name it is. And on your Google Drive, you should have already gained a link to share it. You're going to click on this particular link box. You're going to simply post your link here, click OK, and it should go ahead and list your video right here as you're working. So for example, if I wanted to go ahead and do that, I would type my name if I needed to, and then I would link and I would post right here, and it'll show up. So I'm going to show you once again, when you want to share, make sure you put your name right here. I'm going to do the link and add that in. And here we go. There's my link. There's my video. It's going to load up, and you make sure you click post, and everyone else will be able to see it. Again, please make sure you put it in the right class period so that it is accessible. This is the last step in getting the points for the activity. I'm reminding you that you're going to be watching each other's videos and making comments, school appropriate. Here's where you're going to find them. You're going to go to your period and make sure that you're in the right spot. When you click on them, they should open. If they're not and you can't view it, make sure you do share that comment with your fellow students. You're going to want to make sure that if your name is not here, we can't tell who it is, that you add your name. If you want to specifically talk to that person, you simply type in their name, and you'll notice it pre-formulates for you, so you can do that. Or you are welcome to simply add in your comments. So I really like that video. And you're going to want to make sure that when you post, you are giving comments that are going to be beneficial. So if this person was to take their video and try to submit it to C-SPAN, what could they do that would make it a better video? What could they add or maybe change a little bit? Is there something they could edit? What do you recommend? So treat it like it's professional. Make sure you're doing a good job. And again, those are your 10 points to get what you need. Last thing is I included a picture of my Google Classroom. This is something my students already have access to. You can see both my rubric and the video on how to for Google Community, and they are accessible to my students, ready to go, so that whether I'm with them or not, they are going to be able to not only upload their videos, but also go ahead and start accessing the Google Community.